The snow had been falling over Manhattan since dusk, soft and silent, wrapping the city in a cold, glittering stillness. Inside the Whitmore apartment on West 85th Street, the only lights came from the dim Christmas tree, its ornaments trembling each time Lauren paced the living room with one of the twins in her arms. Their fevers hadn't broken. Their little breaths were quick, uneven, frightening. But her husband, Cole, didn't answer her calls. Again. He had left hours earlier in his Mercedes, dressed in his tailored charcoal coat, saying he needed to meet investors. But Lauren knew that tone flat, impatient, already halfway out the door. She knew he wasn't going to a meeting. She had felt it in her bones for months. She had felt it every time he came home past midnight, smelling like expensive perfume that wasn't hers. At 11:47 p.m., her phone buzzed. A text. "Don't wait up. Big clients. Stay quiet so I can focus." Attached by accident, maybe, or maybe because arrogance made him careless, was a cropped photo. A reflection in a hotel mirror. A woman's exposed shoulder. A strand of long blonde hair. And Cole's hand on her waist. Lauren's heart didn't break. It simply stopped. Numbness rushed through her as the twins whimpered in their bassinet. A mother's exhaustion, a wife's last thread of hope, both snapped at the same moment. She walked to the bedroom, desperate for something to steady her breathing, and that's when she saw it. A small Tiffany box tucked in Cole's coat pocket. Inside was a delicate necklace, pearls and diamonds far beyond anything he had ever bought her. The receipt read, "To Sierra, Christmas Eve." Her fingers trembled, her lips parted, but she made no sound. Outside, the wind howled. Inside, something inside Lauren shifted into place, quiet, firm, irreversible. When dawn finally crept over Manhattan, Cole stumbled through the front door, humming, smug, smelling of champagne and betrayal. He dropped his keys on the counter and called her name like nothing was wrong. But the apartment was silent. The twins were gone. Lauren was gone. Only a single note sat on the kitchen table. And when Cole read it, his smug smile vanished instantly. It said, "Merry Christmas, Cole. This time, you won't find us. Thanks for watching." And just as he lunged for his phone, he saw the hallway camera light blinking, recording everything he never intended the world to see. Lauren Whitmore had once imagined her 30s would be calm morning coffees, a job she didn't hate, a husband who kept his promises, and a home filled with the soft sounds of children's laughter. But somewhere between reality and the life she'd dreamed of, she lost herself without even noticing. The woman staring back from the bathroom mirror most mornings wasn't the bright, hopeful girl from Ohio. She was pale, exhausted, and stretched thin physically, emotionally, financially. At 30, Lauren worked at a customer service hotline for a tech support center in Midtown. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid enough for groceries and diapers when Cole didn't freeze the joint account to teach her about budgeting. She used to be confident, witty, charming, but months of juggling newborn twins, sleepless nights, and a husband who snapped at her for the smallest things had hollowed her out. She had learned to shrink herself, to speak softly, to apologize even when she wasn't wrong. Her pregnancy had been difficult from the start. Complications, early contractions, weeks on bed rest. Cole wasn't there for any of it. Too much pressure at work, he claimed. She believed him back then. She believed everything he said, even when her gut screamed something else. And after the twins, her postpartum anxiety wrapped around her like a tightening rope, one she never admitted to anyone. She pushed through every panic attack alone, whispering to herself, "Just breathe, Lauren. Just keep breathing." Her only moments of peace came during late nights when the babies finally slept. She would sit by the window with a warm blanket draped around her, watching the city lights flicker over the snowy sidewalks below. Sometimes she imagined packing her bags, walking out the door, starting over somewhere quiet, somewhere safe, somewhere she didn't feel invisible. But then reality reminded her she had nowhere to go. Her father had passed away years earlier. Her mother, lost in the fog of early dementia, lived in assisted care. There was no one left. And Cole used that. He knew she had no safety net. He liked being the one who decided everything, the bills, the schedules, the money, the mood of the household. If she cried, he called her dramatic. If she questioned him, he said she was insecure. If she asked for help, he reminded her she was lucky he stayed after the twins. She tried to justify him. She told herself the long nights at the office were for their future. She blamed the distance between them on stress, But deep down, she knew better. She'd seen the lipstick smudge on his collar weeks before Christmas. She'd smelled perfume on his jacket that wasn't hers. She'd found strange charges on the credit card under female names he brushed off as